feels right.
For those of you who are from Melbourne, do you have any bad restaurants? Can someone? I just need a change of pace.
Yeah, I want to get sick.
Yeah, I want to.
Instead of feeling, satisfied and good about myself.
No, I mean every place that we have gone to dinner, I want to eat 3 separate dinners.
They'll
And
let you.
It's going to have a negative impact.
It's permitted.
Ultimately. Well, hey, welcome yet again to the PAX Australia 2022 Q&A Alpha, the initial one. We've got an incredible. Is there a camera that can show
There's no crane.
how delightful this is? Do you have a camera power?
Are these actually attached so I could lift it gently?
Yeah, here. This is like incredible.
Can we see? There.
Can you see these bin chickens?
This is from above. There you go.
Okay, no, it's actually here we go. Yeah.
Dead on.
Here we go. So these are bin chickens. These are bin chickens here. You can see that these are clearly bins, which is the natural,
It's not recycling because there's foods coming out of this one.
Yes, and so the enforcer that put this together, hallowed be their name, had to go to swap meets and get a bunch of individual foods. There's pizzas, sausages.
The checkerboard nature of these elements here.
I don't know.
It's very frustrating to look at.
Yes. I'm deeply moved by it, and it was nice to see. And there's candy too? God, this is the best country. Random
You
candy.
can't get a bad meal. Nestle Crunch. Incredible.
$100,000? Hell yes. Now, our first question. Maxwell's Demon and the other one, from where we all are right now, asks, when dealing with the other condition, which is a more useful tool? The tool of time against the problem of distance, or the tool of distance over the problem of time?
Hold on a second.
This is a Kris question. That's not a, I didn't go to college. There's certain questions I'm never going to be prepared for.
Sheesh. I don't know. It feels like this violates the uncertainty principle, for one.
I think it might be.
I can't answer this.
I think it might be a test.
It absolutely is a test question.
Yeah, and neither of us won.
I got it.
Just another red shirt from I Won't Be Around Long Enough for It to Matter asks, if the warp core needed fixing to save the ship, now I think we've got your attention, sir.
Uh-oh, I need this card. Which one?
But if the warp core needed fixing to save the ship, don't shave the ship, but the repairman would 100% die in the process, which one of you would do it? Ooh. What are your last words to each other? Bagpipes or no bagpipes at your space funeral? This is a very detailed, independent of everything else it's a very detailed fantasy about our deaths.
Yeah. It's gross. I don't know if we should yield to this pervert's interest. So specific.
Well, no, exactly. It's like they're waiting for us. They're watching, pants off, stream running.
Here we go.
So we have a big task here. And so do they, clearly.
We got to thread this needle.
Yeah.
Provide an answer, but not a satisfying one erotically.
Yes. All right. So what do we think? So who's going to bite this neutrino bullet?
I would hope for, I'll go in there, but then with the desire that I will somehow be absorbed into the dilithium.
And essentially become conscious,
right,
spread throughout the ship.
Right.
Okay.
So I get in there.
So what's the funeral even for? Just like the beef jerky that's left in the reactor room?
No, it'll make a copy of my mind, and then I'll be in the computer, and then I'm like, do a better funeral. What the hell kind of funeral is this? There's no snacks.
Dude,
celebrate me.
No, but just like
my sacrifice.
But over the loudspeaker, it's just like the person. It's like I would be speaking, and it's every few seconds. It's like no, more reverent.
Yeah, be sadder. Why are you not so sad?
Hey, no, you in the back, you, ensign. Sabina Aureliana from in D&D Valens in real life Virginia asks, what gave you the confidence to go all in on your own business? Oh, see, I think this is a misnomer.
How so?
Well, I think that there might be people who have confidence.
Oh.
But for me, that's like a fictional character. Yeah, that's like Flynn from Tron or something. You know what I mean? Like that's a person with confidence is for me like a person who does not exist outside the pages of a book. I don't know,
Right.
except for Ryan. Sometimes I don't actually know any people who feel good about what they're doing and who
Yeah.
they are and
There's always
what they can accomplish.
Yeah, it's a great skill in self-delusion, I guess,
No,
to feel that way.
yeah, exactly. It's like to look out at the universe and say, you know what that needs? More of this.
I guess it's time.
It hasn't occurred to me. So, I mean, when you went on your excursion, because even before we were working together, you've been doing your own stuff, and you're still doing Local 58 shit and all kinds of cool stuff. What strange force enabled you to create the impossible?
Oh, shucks, I don't know. I think, like, no matter what else I was doing, I was also doing that. And it wouldn't go away. There
Well,
was
yeah.
no way to not do that also. It was a second job, so why not make it
Yes.
into an actual job,
Right.
since I'm doing it already?
Well, yes, I did the free version of this job for like a year and a half, and then the pretend job started making some money, but like not enough money for both of us to quit.
Right.
So we decided that Mike would quit, and that I would continue to work both jobs until such a time as it allowed me to do it also.
Yeah.
But it isn't about confidence. It's about the fact that, I don't know, maybe it's a disease or something, but I couldn't not make comics and write.
Yeah.
I actually had to do that. And even if I wanted to not do it, I would just be unhappy, right?
So, like, you're just seeking, like, the lowest level of unhappiness.
And this is the other thing. So have you ever played Gears of War? Right, yeah. So, I'm not...
You got to get behind that troika.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not especially good at shooter games, but for some reason, I'm pretty good at Gears of War. And part of it is because if in Call of Duty, if you're not good at Call of Duty, like, you die and then you come back in, like, 5 seconds. In Gears of War, if you, like, are not good or someone kills you, they take a chainsaw and they cut you in half from your asshole first. And that inspired something in me, a vigor, some vim, a little get up and go. Because I treasure that realm, and I don't want it sundered. And so, basically, Penny Arcade maps onto that a little bit, because I did have regular jobs, and I found them as terrifying as being cut in half. And I thought that if I could just do something else, anything else, and I was willing to be up all night to do it.
Protect that hole.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
That precious realm, that aperture.
Major Maxwell's Damon the
Oh,
Fourth
no.
from the Space City of Angles asks, which is a more profound enemy, that which is time or that which is distance? Are
Maxwell's demon,
Are we trying to, like, confound this until it's like a Minkowskian four-dimensional object where they're equal? That's the answer. I did it. No more answers for that one. I'm anti.
I was afraid they would just jump out of this envelope.
They did.
Jeff Raven from Club PA asks, what is some advice you would have for a high school teenager? Stop being one.
Yeah, get older.
Right away.
Fast as you can.
Do what you can. I mean, you can just sort of let, if you just stand still long enough, it'll stop. Teenager who is creative, artistically and or linguistically, and are about to take their talents to adulthood. Oh, God.
Oh my God, I missed the question. I was
No,
upset.
you're too upset. Here, listen, I found it a terrifying state of affairs. I hope this has made me like a slightly better parent.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it sucks shit. Like it is not good.
No,
like
it's
that
not
that
great.
level of disempowerment
I remember
in every avenue of your life.
I remember thinking it didn't go too bad for me, and it was kind of bad.
Yeah.
But I know it could be so much worse.
Oh, absolutely, it could be worse.
My advice for this person, though, would be that if you're taking this creative ability into adulthood, you can keep doing it, even in adulthood. I honestly always thought at some point, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like these distinctions are nonsense.
Yeah.
They're not actually true. You're not subject to these. Like these, like grown up. Like my job as a grown up is to play with toys.
Yes.
And I mean, among other things. I mean, obviously I do this, but what I'm saying sometimes, not all the time, and I had a break from it for a while. But no. I mean, the main thing is that you can actually retain these interests. You can continue to do them. The one thing I would say is that sometimes you have to have like a job that is not that, just so that you can have light and heat.
Yeah, you still need to eat.
And calories. But there are places where you can still get ramen for 8 cents.
And they are not open.
No.
But you can raid them. You
Yes.
can break in.
In the night with beasts. The one and only Dova from a small imaginary August rain cloud in better Seattle asks, there were a lot of things that made quarantine sad and infuriating. I mean, chief among them, I think, the plague.
Why we were quarantining.
If we had to rank.
Yeah.
It was not a great plague, all things considered. But what was your favorite part of the doom, I guess?
Oh, the silver lining.
So I would have missed a lot. I would have missed a lot of a really interesting part of my family's existence. I would say that before the lever was pulled way, way too far over on work. Mm-hmm. And I think that was probably true for most of us. Not that they ever gave us any chance to pause that, but being able to do the work at home. I did not enjoy being IT. I'll tell you this, because if you had to go to school or print anything or do anything during that period, it required a full-time IT manager. But it was actually really neat to see the larvae molt. Like those first couple times they cast off that husk and emerged
that
moist.
Translucent, yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is it.
And it disintegrates after days.
Oh, and you can eat it.
Yeah. It's safer that way.
It's safe to eat.
Oh, wow. Another from Jeff Raven.
Oh.
USS Club PA asks, Dear Captain Holkins and Lieutenant Commander Straub, 2 questions, if I may.
Yes.
Which holodeck programs would you most desire to have available on your starship? And what programs would you require all staff to experience? Like a mandatory training event, I guess. Geez, is that nobody wants to say what holodeck program they want to have?
No.
That they need to have.
Not the number one choice.
They did an episode about it, and nobody liked Barkley. He's a weird guy, and I feel bad for him that came out to light. He shouldn't have seen that. Nobody needed to see that.
No, that's rough stuff.
And they all went in, right? They all was like, come on, Captain, come on, Troy, let's get in here. Look at this creep.
I mean, ironically, like the thing that, like the program that I would most like would be one where I could command a starship with my friend, but that doesn't work for the framing.
No, you could. There's a program.
If you leave the ship and then go into the ship, I mean, I feel like that's going to have negative impacts.
You could program. The program could be that you're operating a starship well. That's what it lets you experience.
All the stuff that you're trying to do. I mean, listen, a version of the Enterprise where the ship worked would be incredible.
Yeah.
It's like they just called down for more power and they're like, no problem. Here we go. I'm just going to boop, boop, boop.
What if the shields kept everything out, including the weird nebula you've never seen before?
Why
what
not?
If you go through there and you're like, the shields still work, though? So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it kept out all that nebula
Now
juice.
let's just leave.
And we're done. So it's a quick one.
Yeah.
It's 15 minutes. An avid follower, totally not the Predator from Space Seattle, asks, Kris and Jerry, have you seen the new movie Prey?
Not yet.
Have you seen Prey?
Not yet.
Is it pretty good? Because I saw Predator, and then I saw like Predator 2, and I was like, and then they were doing like Alien versus Predator. I was like,
no, that's terrible.
I got to the point where I don't even mind the hook. I just got to the point where I don't like fucking trust these people. So, but this is the thing, is that what worries me is that like everybody says that it's legit. It's actually like kick ass. Fuck yes. Okay, dude. Okay, I will watch it. I will watch it during this trip. What warrior era would you like to see the Predator in? Somehow lose against with superior technology. Maybe they're not very good. Like maybe they're not super good at it.
Yeah, like they're good at dressing up.
Oh yeah, it's fun for them. It's like Halloween.
Yeah, it's just cosplay.
Yeah.
They just like to look tough.
It's just LEDs.
You know the xenomorph skull in the ship there? It's not even a real one.
Oh,
it's just a prop.
It's like a Comic-Con. It's like one of those reproductions.
Yeah, limited number.
Yeah, exactly.
1-to-1
you
scale.
turn it over, it's all.
No.
Here, so but we do need a historical era.
From our past. I was going to say.
You know what? Yeah. I would love like a Civil War one where the Predator is writing, "Dear Eliza." I would love to hear, but he's got like the suit.
Right. He has no reason to be writing a letter.
And the hat.
Yeah, he's just in the Union, and he doesn't want to be caught out. So he's in the uniform. He's going to get those rebels.
Actually, the letter would be. Sunny Weather Assault Stormtrooper from the Bodega system asks, "Are these the droids we're looking for? Should they move along? If not, why not? Come on.
Sure, okay.
Get out of here."
That's not the place for this.
We have 43 minutes. We don't have time for that shit.
Okay. Nico from Rhode Island, I know, East, asks, will there be another strip search, specifically the show?
Did you add the last part?
No, it's on there.
Oh.
Otherwise, this could have been written at like an airport.
Oh.
This was intended for TSA agents.
Is there gonna be another strip
Do I have
search?
to again?
I just did it. No, there have been 3 separate times where strip search, like a sequel to strip search, was almost real. Mm-hmm. Typically, it just involves a partner that has some kind of limitation that we think is unpleasant. So we've had talks. So I have to hope that your geographic location protects you from some things. If I said Quibi, were you scourged by Quibi? Did you feel its lash upon you?
No.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Briefly, like everybody, yeah.
The individual show's also short. So it was something like that. A couple times it was some new app, and they were like, "Oh, we'd love to fund this," and we're like, "Well, we would love for you to fund it. What does it take?" He's like, "Well, you have to have all of your people subscribe to Shit Zone." And
I will put my brand on that. I don't want that.
And it's like there were people who were saying yes, and then there were Mike and I who were saying no Shit Zone.
Now you're more adept at this than I am. Now there are black dark cards, but then there is a gray card. Is it a different type of card?
Well, a lot of times there will be a dark card, and I think that Laura might have just run out.
That's possible.
Of other ones, because theoretically these are supposed to be like more intense or hardcore.
Yeah, and I'm worried this is like a trick.
Yeah. There is one that is dark black. I just assume that's Anthrax.
Yeah, it's at the end, so you get that
it is at the end, figuratively and literally.
Right.
The Mad Doctor from the Void asks, "Fight to the death. Who is your second? What are the weapons of choice, time of day, difficulty? You are facing your clone."
Oh. I don't think we would fight.
No.
I think we'd just hold each other and cry.
Yeah, and I think what would happen is that we would weird our seconds out.
Yeah.
Because our seconds are probably also clones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? I think it ends up just being a super weird scene. Obviously there's some archive of our own ship potential.
Okay, this is what happens for real. If there's a clone of us, then somebody's controlling that. Yeah. Maybe the first version of us. Yeah. So he and I team up. We team up to get the prime Kris and take him down.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's the one who put us up to this.
The movie poster is like Kris, and he's like holding like two smaller Chris's down here.
Well, if we were actually very small, then we don't have a lot of chance
Oh,
there,
no.
I think.
Yeah, I don't think you win in this. I'm just saying that's what the poster looks like. Raal, from the fifth moon planet, Astarte, orbiting the white supergiant. You find yourselves in a derelict. There's a lot of fucking fan fiction in here. There's a lot of rich ass narratives.
We could like put these on a board and like get a narrative going all through.
We have multiple IPs, burgeoning IPs here. You find yourselves in a derelict supercontinent destroyer class starship. What is the first piece of loot you strive for?
Jeez, I don't know. I feel like the ship's pretty good. Like if we got that,
Yeah,
I get a gold coin.
No, exactly. Like I feel like generally speaking, people loot so that they can, upgrade to the supercontinent destroyer.
I got a bigger destroyer.
Yes,
That's what I do.
If there's a supercontinent destroyer, the cleaning bills alone.
Yeah, I get one with a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, a couple Roombas. I mean,
Right. Water feature in the front.
Oh, Christ. Blood Shredder from Whoa asks, is a half orc half full or half empty?
Depends.
I was mad at first, but now it's kind of okay.
It's like, what time of day is it, maybe? I don't know.
Of what?
Full of ideas. Woo.
Notions.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go.
You got some text
There's
on this
a
one?
lot of strange writing on this one. Core Flex from the Gloom Dusk asks, Jeremaine, we know you've bestowed many extra names upon the person of Mork Crawlhollow.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorites for Creech Straub?
Well, I only really have one for you, and it's like the only one that's stuck. I mean, for him, I'm always spinning the tumbler trying to find the one that he'll hate the most, and I did find it. And then once I found it, I mean, every now and then I'll mess around with it, but
There's
the
no
thrill's
novelty
gone.
anymore. Yeah.
Once I got to Grub Dumpster, it was over. Like once you hit Grub Dumpster, you're at the apex. And then, like his son is actually named Gabe, and I was over at the house, and I once said, "All right, Grub Dumpster," and Mike said, "No."
Like that's a
and it
bridge too
wasn't
far.
a joke.
Yeah.
He was like, "Not him,"
Watch
and I
it.
was like, "Okay, maybe this is only fun for me. Maybe this is just a fun toy that I'm playing with." But no, you are Crasp.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just Crasp. He's asking if there was less than 3, do one more. I don't. Again, there's no point.
No. I've already reached the.
It's
again,
the
this is a
platonic ideal.
This is a supercontinent destroyer situation. I've already reached the apex. Why work? Nevermore from Club PA asks, Jerry, I'm a big fan of Lex Caliber. Well, thank you. What other poetry would you recommend for someone interested in reading more?
Ooh, cool.
That is nice.
Just poetry in general, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I feel like it doesn't. It's not that common.
It's not.
I feel like admitting that you're into poetry is like admitting you're into anything else that's bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go into specifics. We've all got something. It's that. So I love poems, and it's like, ugh, gross. No, but for me, I always go back to. For me, E.E. Cummings is sort of like what I want out of a poem. I want somebody to like mess around with the form, but not too much.
Not too much.
I want you to I want the poem underneath to be completely standard, but it's fine if you put a lot of spaces in it.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's fine for me.
I can still
too.
read it.
It's like, it's cheeky. It's cheeky. Arthip from West Coast, Best Coast asks, Jerry, I forget when, but at some point you mentioned a 3-lunch day. Please explain. That's very Melbourne. Kris, does Jerry's explanation fill you with joy or dread? No, I mean, you know exactly what it is.
I already know where you're going, yeah.
No. It's just like you find places here that you don't want to leave, but they want you to leave. There is a place that I go, like, so we have a ritual, like, after we land and, like, wash a 20-hour flight off, then we become ravenously hungry. And there's, like, specific Melbourne rituals that we do, like, right when we get here. And the first is to go to Blackball, but it's like in a mall. It's like that way. And so we have, it's like we get like boba tea, but they have a whole menu of things that are unimaginable. There's like a hot terrine full of pudding
And jellies.
and syrups.
Yeah.
And then there's this other thing that puts like ribbons of flavored ice over jelly balls.
Yeah. It's innovation.
I'm afraid to sit down there. I get the tea and leave.
Yeah. There's only wrong ways to drink it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, why would I ever leave? They have a waffle called Mr. Messy.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Messy.
Oh, that's right, Mr. and Mrs. It's a family affair.
No, you'd live there.
Oh, Jesus.
Gotta escape.
Crazy Bob from Come On, Get On Out of Here asks, that's what it says. Kris, you just dug up a lump of gold the size of your fist.
I bring it onto my supercontinent destroyer. All the richer.
No. We're not at the prompt yet.
No, all right.
God damn it. You're keen to keep this one for you and your dame so you can go live in the big city?
Okay.
Jerry, your partner in grime just smiled for the first time since you two started this gig. What's he up to? Please act out the scene.
What is this? We were doing like space stuff, and now it's like Old West.
I don't know what the fuck's wrong with these people. So, hey, so it seems like you're feeling better. I know you had that gallbladder thing, but you got a real spring in your step.
Well, it seemed to me that it's time for me to get out of this mining business. I've been at it for too long.
Well, I mean,
I'm very tired, and I will leave.
But getting out, that's an expensive business.
Not really. I'm done, and you can have the whole rest of the mine. Thanks so much. Great job.
And also, it seems like all your bags are packed. It seems like you're standing in a circle of.
My gallbladder again. Oh no, off to a life of poverty. Farewell.
It's up here.
Every part. Oh.
My gallbladder. 10 Prof from Liminal Zone asks, predictive processing models, Jesus fucking Christ. Predictive processing models of brain activity suggest that our minds take in noisy sensory data and apply an expectation filter so that our perceptions are a mix of what we sense and what's already in our mind.
Yes.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That feels true.
Unfortunately.
I mean, that feels true, right? Yeah. What is each of your favorite examples of this phenomenon?
Jeez. The will to live. How about that? The fact that you're like, well, I guess I'll do some more of this today. You know, I'm glad we have it. There you go. Wasn't a fun answer.
Noisy sensory data. I mean, I think I understand what's happening here.
That's how they do. I read that's how they do it, like the AI art.
Oh yeah, but like, the visual field is full of shit like this.
Yeah.
Like just fucking lies.
It's just shortcuts. Lies. It's just shortcuts because we have to identify a face quickly, stuff like that.
Yeah, and if it's not a face,
we try to resolve it into a face.
Well, and this is very scary.
Yeah, it scares us.
If you were 12.
Yeah, and up.
And the doors open a crack.
Yeah, it's real.
Looming body horror. Well, we have a theme, I guess. From somewhere between a reflection and a memory asks, is this just age or have I always felt like this?
These are getting worse. That was a white card. That was a white envelope.
I need candy.
Just eat some candy. I'm going to avoid the dark cards, but these haven't been much help. All right, let's see.
That was the light card. The existential crisis came from the light card.
Okay. Yeah, maybe they're inverted. Brosephine from Seattle, Washington asks, do you have any strong sense memories, and what are some of them? Yeah, absolutely. Think. This is the very first one that came to mind. I was with my brother in Las Vegas, Nevada, because there was a Star Trek convention there, and we went to Quark's Bar as well on that trip. And in order to get to the where the convention was, we ended up walking in the back of the Circus Hotel and Casino, in this alley where they have these, as tall as this, industrial blowers that push the air out. Yeah, of the casino itself.
Right.
And fresh air, I assume, is coming in the other side.
Yeah.
And the smell is indescribable and is etched. We stood there.
It's all smells, right?
We stood there for a moment just considering it.
Well,
like,
dude,
what could it
literally
be?
just being subsumed by it.
Yeah. It wasn't, it was like it was not a sense anymore. It was just this, like we inhabited it. It is the worst smell I've ever smelled.
But you also couldn't, but it was too interesting.
There were I couldn't place so many elements of it. What could it have been? It's probably still there to this day.
It's everything. I mean, I think that's it, right? It's
Yeah.
all those people and everything they're doing.
Yes. It's life.
You know what I mean? Yeah, well, exactly. Like there's lots of examples of life not smelling the best.
It's
right?
true. It's not a memory we want to keep, but it is there.
No, the sense memory is like, so I have my memory is very weird in general, where when I have a memory, it comes condensed, like it comes parceled with like real feelings and senses, like what I perceive as real, like concurrent sensory information.
Yeah, it just brings it all back
right.
to the...
And so it's the moment is like captured. And so like there's a perfume called Summer's Love that like is annihilating to smell. Like if I smell it, there's a bunch of things that happened when I was smelling this perfume that were novel and interesting. I won't go into them. But it crucifies me. If I'm in the mall and I am like walking by a kiosk and they have it, like I have to sit down.
And you know what's funny is that I'm curious now what it smells like, and I may go find it, and it will do nothing for me.
No.
Right? Because it's not mine, my memory.
It pierces your heart. My heart. Oh my God. Tunic Good from Zvezda 6 asks, sun or moon? Moon.
Moon's fine. Don't worry about it. Choose your own.
Yeah.
Select your own celestial body.
Yeah. What sphere do you like?
Go to
on Main.
whatsmysphere.com and...
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, it's just my sphere.
It's my sphere.
My sphere.
My dot sphere. That's the whole domain extension. All right.
Yeah, because there's other sphere sites.
Yes.
Horny on Main from IKS Rataran Engineering asks, it's been established canonically that the Star Trek ship Gabe would have VR sex with the NCC 1701D. Well, I mean, that's not just Gabe. That's all thinking peoples. But Christopher Straub is the definitive connoisseur, unsatisfied with the yearnings of the common rabble. What sexy VR ship would Kris plow first? I mean, I like that the expectation here is that it's going to be an all-day thing.
Well, I was going to say...
But it's like, what's the playlist?
Yeah, no, I mean, this question is about the journey, not the destination. And just being able to consider and contrast the ships.
Deflector dish,
Right.
nacelles.
Yeah, I'm not a...
Detachable saucer section?
Listen, I haven't seen much of it, but I'll tell you this. I haven't seen much of Lower Decks, but the Cerritos has a very interesting shape.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've been worried. Is that good?
No. I don't like it, sorry.
See, I'm getting fucked now. I'm getting like fucked on Prey. Whereas it's like, and then I see like, I don't think that Star Trek can't be funny, but it's like I'm worried about, humor is tricky.
Is that a magical sound? What is that?
I don't know.
That's nothing.
But it can be tricky, but it's all right. But they have a cool ship. Is what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it's just I follow.
Would you fuck it?
Yeah, probably for the story. For the story.
For the story,
Yeah.
guys. remember the first time we had access to a Vive. When it's like I put it on mic, and there is like a program. I forget the name of it, but it was like one of the first like Google programs for VR that you could like draw things in 3D.
They're just venting drive plasma on stage.
Did we say a trigger word of some kind? This is incredibly.
What if there was a model of a ship that came out,
really
and it was asked of us?
No, and it's just like, oh, okay, here's your chance, Kris. No, it was some kind of a Google thing where you could like draw things in 3D, and he really. But the first thing he drew was like a huge penis, but like in 3D.
Yeah.
So that you could like go.
Where no man.
I mean, I
suppose.
It has unlimited uses, obviously, but the idea was that he's like, here, put this on. And so I put it on, and then I'm like standing, and it's like right there.
Yeah, that's a cruel trick. It's like all of your senses are suddenly taken from you.
Because I had seen him, because he had it, and I could just see him going. It's just, yes. It's just.
Oh, I thought you meant that. I thought he had drawn like a huge one, and then you were like, wow, and you're just walking around it, inside of it.
No, like in a museum.
Yeah.
No. It was down here. And so that you could stand in a specific position, and then it was your penis. All right.
That's cool, I guess.
Oh, God.
What you got? It's a dark card.
Jerry, please tell us. This is from It's Totally Okay from I Promise Asks. Jerry, please tell us about a secret project you're not supposed to. I'm doing some writing on an indie game. The end. Hippofant. Don't ask anymore. I'll get in huge trouble. Hippofant. Maybe I'll get in trouble. Maybe you want to know. Hippofant from the zoo asks, Mike isn't here. What's his deepest, darkest secret? The first time I had VR at the office.
It's a versatile story.
Oh my God! If Mike had a deep, dark secret, that would be the first thing he'd fucking tell you. That's like he doesn't. You may not know Mike very well, Hippofant. That's his auntie.
Yeah. Now you go. Now you try. Here we go. Wait a minute.
Top it.
Here's a light, bubbly one. Question asker from Fashion asks, you have unlimited budget to spend on your debut drag queen look. How do you spend the big bucks, and what makes it extra fabulous? I don't know. I don't know enough about the form to give a good answer. I would love advice.
Oh, well, I can help you.
I have to figure out, like...
I mean, I didn't know that I knew exactly what I would do, but I do. No one had ever asked me before. But it's got to be Voltron. Right?
That's your thing?
Right?
You just look like
I
Voltron?
would collaborate with 4 other drag queens, and we would mount one another in such a way. I'm telling you, this would be some hot shit.
Is there like a frame?
I don't know how, like...
No, I mean, each of you...
I don't have a lot of experience with it. I know there's got to be a way...
Each of you has to have an accessory that by itself is cool, but then you can bolt them in, and then that forms the...
My way is, I think I got something here. But I saw an incredible one where the wig, where the drag queen's wig was actually a separate dancer. Just like the hair, and they were like curled up like this.
And then they just like left?
And then they like decoupled, and now there were 2 performers.
No, it's too late for me to enter the space. There's no way. With innovation like that,
all the innovation.
There's no point.
It's at the apex.
Late adopter.
A name I've not heard in a long time from Stoogen asks, I sometimes see you pass outside my door. Stormtrooper, is it me you're looking for? Is this some Aussie thing?
Is there like a stormtrooper incident that happened?
Yeah.
Like a meme?
Zimbabwe. Oh, I get it. From Indiana asks.
Like the guy, yeah.
Of all the games we've purchased digitally on my young son's Switch are registered to my Nintendo account. Am I morally obligated to transfer this account to him at some point?
Upon death, yes.
How would you have felt about a parent keeping your games when you got older? Oh.
I mean, it's honestly is an interesting question, but
Well, no,
at this point, he's not old enough to be like, why is your name on here? Like at some point.
Exactly. And since you're his parent, this is a problem that will solve itself.
Yeah. Also, I can't imagine that in 20 years he's like, why am I logged in as you when I'm playing Mario Kart 6 on this ancient device?
No, here's what's actually going to happen, is that after he dies and his son has these games, in order to sign in, he's going to have to use his father's login, and a single tear will fall on the Switch. Like, these are the bizarre capitalist rituals that are going to act as a stand-in for religion when we're older.
Yeah, and that's why we have to preserve them.
Exactly right. They're
it would
so
be a
precious.
shame for those to go away.
They're so precious and so pure.
Tyrannosaurus from down on the corner, out in the street, asks, Dear Jerry, if Omen Drawn was a poetic form, what would he be? What'd you find there?
Jewels.
Ooh, wonders.
They're just everywhere here
Hold on,
in
Tyrannosaurus.
Australia.
Something's been located. We
What
gotta get
has?
to the bottom of it.
Oh, no, it's mine now. You can't have it.
But
I found a real gem.
my bladder.
Fuck you. You got a fist-sized lump of gold. I got a tiny plastic jewel. Just fucking let it happen.
I hid the fist-sized lump in my gallbladder.
In my
And
gallbladder.
that's the problem.
It ain't a gallbladder no more.
So what poetic form would Omen be?
Oh.
I don't know that many off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that I know is iambic pentameter, so I guess that has to be the answer.
Oh man, there's some weird.
Oh,
I mean,
there's
as you could imagine.
No, dude, there is some pervert shit.
No.
I know. AAB, and then it's like AAC, and then it's like,
No, what?
oh, shit. Poems, baby. Space Brian from Seattlin 5 asks, Dear Not Mike and Jerry, I feel guilty for that greeting because Kris is a human goddamn being full of 5 liters of beautiful blood.
I'm gonna have to do the conversion. I don't know if it is it 5 liters.
Yeah. Well, only one way to find out. What's the best way? It's a Capri Sun situation.
Yeah, is this a liter right here? What is this?
Here, we can do it right here. What's the best way you've seen someone deal with the type of influence you have?
The best way?
Yeah, I guess people still move to Seattle because of you. Well, that's strange. They're probably not going to see me. They just like to know I'm there, I guess.
Yeah, that's a lot to carry. Like, you're why I moved to Seattle and I have no job.
Oh,
like,
yeah, exactly.
oh,
It's like, do you have a place I can stay, or?
I don't know you. Also, I know you're here, but
You got a lot of good stuff in your garbage. No, what's the best way you've seen someone deal with the type of influence you have? I mean, I think that not giving into it is probably the best. Not having some sense that the extent to which you have been able to find some kind of success there's a lot of variables, and there's a lot of luck, and even if you are like good at it, some people are very, very good at it. I mean, you and I both know because we came up in a really crazy time on the internet.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of work from people much, much better than us every day. And then it just didn't happen.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard.
And I think, the only way that you can think about it is to feel incredibly lucky and try not to abuse people with it.
Yeah.
I think that's all you can do. If you need a way to do it, not hurting people is probably a good start. Andrew Risch from Tacoma asks, how can the moon contain the egg if we've never found it? All right.
You saw a moon fall. It was right inside there, I guess. I guess there's a big moon problem.
Sure, he's a Destiny
falling
fan or
down
something.
and- I don't know.
He's thinking about the hive. Let's just get it.
Here's more stories, but let's see. Synth Sapiens from the Blind Eternities asks, picture, if you will, another you, your divergent simulacrum, a veteran PAX attendee. They, you, just donned a mantle of new responsibilities, including a new black badge. Your doppelganger is now a PAX enforcer. What part of PAX does this variant hope to work in, and why? I don't know what all the preamble is about. You don't have to set it up like sci-fi, like my clone, after years of research. Where do you like parts of PAX? What would you go to if you were an enforcer? If you could be an enforcer, what would you do? Do you think that this is like the way to hook us? Like that's the bait on the hook?
I don't know.
And I think I could have just answered what's a cool part of PAX?
I think that if I were in that continuum, I think that I could probably make myself useful as line entertainment. I mean, that's basically what I do now. I'm just at another end of the continuum.
Yeah.
Right? So I think of myself as, right now I'm just doing it, it's asymmetrical.
Yeah.
But I could entertain the line itself out there and probably save everybody a lot of time.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. I, as an enforcer, would become obsessed with finding the other Kris and figure out why I'm here, and he gets to parade around.
Oh, yeah. The door's open. You see yourself out here. Whoa.
No, I didn't mean it.
Cadet from the Academy asks, the indomitable Emperor Zarkon's Galra Empire has held the universe prisoner to his twisted ways for thousands of years. Now the time has come for a new power to rise and stand for peace, justice, and freedom. That power is you. Who are your fellow paladins, and which limb do you form? Well, it's all drag queens. And I've had a few more minutes to think about it, and I think I can I think that I can actually do the whole. I think that I can get him in there.
You've sectioned off, a trivial part of your mind to deal with this, while the rest was grinding on
exactly.
How do we form this
grinding
shape?
and perfecting, and also trying to source industrial lubricants.
Arthep from Earth is technically space, right? Asks, Armageddon is 16 years old. Some references are timeless, Star Trek, Alanis, etc. But please help provide modern context for the following things so my children will understand this tale. A mall.
Oh, a mall is essentially just a capitalist mausoleum.
Yeah. How about B, EB Games?
EB Games is a pawn shop for teenagers.
C, the N-Gauge.
The N-Gauge is a silicon taco.
D, Weekend Minutes.
That's when I get to see my kids.
And E, Pants with a Z.
I don't know what
Z.
pants, P-A-N-T-Z?
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I guess in the 90s they were trying to make pants cool again.
Were they trying to disrupt pants?
Yeah. One leg. You don't need to. Don't listen to them.
Number 456 from Squid Game Island asks, in the year 20XDX, the Omegathon operates under Squid Game rules. The winner is rewarded with wealth, all others, death. You're both in the final. Which game will give you the highest chance of success against your foe? No, you can't refuse to win and murder your friend Coward.
I don't know.
I haven't seen Squid Game.
What is it?
It's a show on Netflix.
Oh, no, listen. I didn't see it either. I know about it, but I don't know the particulars of it.
Okay, we're gonna have to come up with something that sounds vaguely Squid Gamian.
Okay. I'd find all the squids first.
Yep.
And thereby,
That was my favorite episode.
yeah, it really brought it all together. Finally, it landed, and we're like, oh, I see.
Because it was like, why is it called Squid Game? And then I see all these fucking squids, and I'm like, okay.
Here we go.
Now we got it.
Buckle up.
Now we got it. Squid time, baby. Kindled Sky from California asks, what's a cool but obscure thing each of you has discovered recently that the PAX audience should know about and that you haven't gotten around to seriously promoting yet? Oh, God, nothing would bring me more pleasure. So I actually went over to this booth before I came to this panel. There is a game, it's over sort of, you know how you have Expo, but it's sort of like divided into like tabletop stuff and like more digital stuff. There's like an air wall that goes most of the way across. So right around in the middle, well, looking right at it, it's sort of like over on the left, but in the middle on this axis. There's a game called Reign Absolute, and I played a demo of it in 2019, and I have thought about it ever since. And then, you know, the thing happened, and I couldn't come back here, and I knew that, because they have like a pin as well, and I knew that, you know, like certainly, and I tried to buy it from him right away, but he didn't have any copies. He just had the demo. And I went to his booth to buy it this morning, and it's still not out.
Oh.
But he's made 2 other games that are all part of the same rich IP or some shit. But you have to, I mean, I haven't had a chance to play his other games, but if you can get a demo of Reign Absolute, you will lose your mind. If you like, imagine if Stratego had like war game chops. It was so good. Do you have Stratego? Okay. I was like, maybe you don't, maybe I'm just, have you played blah, blah, blah? It's a game. But the other one is actually over at the Neko Cards booth. But it's called Cosplay. Like the booth has something else on it. But you want to try to get a game called Card Fight Vanguard. If you like CCGs at all, for some reason their starter decks are $8 Oz. And they're like good. And it's like it's $4. Like that's a cost of a Magic booster.
Yeah.
And this is a full fucking. Anyway, Card Fight Vanguard and Reign Absolute.
Can't afford not to.
Yeah, that's empty.
This one's blank.
Oh.
No. Core Flux from south of the boredom asks, Creech. He's trying to make Creech catch on, and I don't like it.
Trying to make Creech happy.
Have you checked the shadows around you to confirm that none are currently hostile? Would you like a moment to do so now? I mean, that's the problem is they always look fine. That's the concern. So, but now that I'm aware of them, I have to continue to be aware of them.
Yeah, exactly.
To stop them.
I'm just going to maintain consciousness of these shadows while you answer the question.
Check that perimeter. No, that was the question. It was just an invitation to be afraid. See, we may have time for one more.
Yeah.
Ulindar the Blue from the Crystal Tower near Leadville, Colorado asks,
Really?
I've spent 2 millennia developing my magical talents, but the job market does not value my arcane skills. What career path should I now pursue, and does this count as going multi-class?
It's like, you're a wizard, you can't get your alchemical thing going. You start getting on the grind set, start drop shipping.
Yeah. Like a bike career.
Ugh. That question just depresses me, honestly.
No, you don't want to see that.
No,
you don't want that.
I listen, I think that you can do very well. If you just started doing magic on TikTok, honestly, I think that it would kick ass. I think it would work. Scott from Boston asks, I've returned to a lot of what would these days be considered retro games during the pandemic. Things like A Link to the Past, Super Mario World, Final Fantasy IX. 9? Retro? I'm fucking old. What, if any, retro games have been getting your time these past 2 years? I'm always playing new shit.
Yeah, but I'm playing more stuff that looks retro, I guess.
Well, I was just going to say, I think the main thing is that, especially in the indie space, like, they're harvesting those concepts and just modernizing them.
Which is super cool.
There's just a lot of gold laying on the ground.
Yeah. It's not an indie game. Well, no, it is, right? But no, I'm thinking of Tunic, right? But specifically, everything that's good about Tunic, I was like, this is neat. And then when you get to the thing where you first interact with the manual that you cannot read in the game, but it gives you enough detail.
Did you lose your mind?
I was like, that's great. I'm now 8 years old again.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Well, exactly. It's like Tunic figured out a way to let you like go home,
Yeah.
right? And actually feel it again, like feel the original feelings. I mean, listen, if Final Fantasy IX is retro, I mean, I guess I played Quake 2.
Yeah.
With ray tracing.
Amazing.
We have 20 seconds. Here we go.
All right, blast through it.
Tyrannosaurus from the Ether asks, who is one person you'd like to give a shout out to right now? PAX Australia 2022. Welcome home. Hey, a couple more days of the show. Enjoy yourselves. We will see you again tonight.
Oh, yes.
Kris Straub as the keeper for tonight's Acquisitions Incorporated Call of Cthulhu. Hope to see you there. All right, see ya.